You're on now.
All right, perfect. So I want us to turn to page 26, and it'll highlight 26 in the program manual. And it will say exercise sequence. And I just want someone to volunteer just to read each track and the track objective out loud once you get to it. Go for it.
You want me to do it?
Yeah, go for it. Thank you.
Just start with warm-up.
Yes.
Okay, number one, warm-up. It's aerobic. Just warm up participants and increase ROM,
Range of motion.
range of motion. Two, the mixed impact track is aerobic. So moving to higher levels of impact and intensity. Number three is your aerobic track. To get the class into their training zone. Plyometric track is it's a sports objective to challenge heart rate anaerobically and do power training for the legs. Five, upper body conditioning track, strength, to increase strength and endurance. Number six, which I know very well, is your running track, to get the heart rate back into the training zone. Number seven is the agility track, that's sports, to explore direction changes, reaction times, and balance. Number eight, interval track, it's aerobic to regain the intensity as you move into the highest cardio training zone. Number nine is your power track. It's aerobic in sports to maximize caloric expenditure. Number 10 is your lower body conditioning track. It's strength to strengthen and tone the legs. 11 is the core conditioning track, strength to strengthen the core. Number 12 is your cool down track, to bring the heart rate down, stretch, and recover.
Great, thank you.
Sure.
So you see Body Attack is a 2P class with recovery built in, so we can reach those peaks, and our members, as well as you guys, can get the workout you came for. Also, we have active recovery built into the class during the strength tracks, like we work towards the first peak in track 4 all the way up to track 4. We come down, and this active recovery for the legs, we're step touching 45 seconds in this release to come back down after that huge track. It brings our heart rate down, makes it safe for you to get to the floor. Then we slowly get back into the workout as we reach our second peak in track 9. And we work conditioning again before we get down on the floor, work our core, and cool down. So that sequence keeps our members safe. It also gives them the results they came for. So for assessment in this key element number 1, it's real simple. You just know your choreography 100% and show it 100%. That's what they're looking for. That will be your checkbox. Does that mean that you can't make a mistake at some point? No. Doesn't mean that necessarily. But that you know the choreography, that the assessors, we have 2 in the room, see that you get right back on. So that's why we use the word know your choreography 100%. Right? So we're going to go through reading the notes. So our Body Attack notes. You guys have had this for, I hope, some time, and you've all seen it. The biggest thing to take away is that it's an amazing resource. So on the front, you'll see what's in the release as far as education and where the presenters are from, as well as the release name. You can open up the notes to the first page, the Les Mills Declaration of Intent. You can read that at your own time. It's a really cool statement if you haven't read it already. And then you'll see all the tracks listed with the track names, the artists that Les Mills have, might be the real artist or cover, and the duration. In this release, there's a little blurb at the top that says push, play, and go. I guess maybe some people might have thought that 45 seconds was a mistake. It's not. Push, play, and go. You have those 45 seconds as a break. As well as the first page has Body Attack essence on it. You flip the page. A lot of information on this third page. The key. This is your key to read the notes. All right? So let's look at it. What does B stand for? Just a regular B. Back. Yeah. What does HOH stand for? Hands on hips. Right? Or FNB, forward and back. Right? Yeah. So anytime you look at the choreography, we'll go through that in a minute. You'll see the credits and the gears. The gears are colorized for you on this page, and you'll see them throughout every track. So take a look for those when we go through each one. Don't forget the Tabata card on the back. That's if you want to do that. We started in Body Attack 80, and it's amazing to increase your fitness for Body Attack. So there's a new one for every release that's release specific. Underneath that, we have the Body Attack Express formats. Some of you may or may not have those already at your gym. You do?
We do the 30 minutes.
Which one do you use?
We do attack 30 minutes and CX 30 minutes after.
Which?
Oh, the track?
Yeah.
It's 2, 3, 4, 7, 8.
Yeah, that's the high energy one, right?
We don't do the warm-up.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, the good thing to know about the important thing to know rather about the 30-minute 3D, the 30-minute high energy, is that they are release specific. So depending on the time, Lisa may change the tracks out. So always look at the release you're doing to make sure that it's 30 minutes. Because some tracks are a little bit longer, it may not be a 30-minute class. And the 3D obviously goes through all dimensions, and the high energy starts with track 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, and then the cool down. Then you have your 45-minute where you teach track 8 or 9, and no track 10 or 11, go right into the cool down. 8 or 9 is up to you. Then we have our Sizzler on the next page. You can read that. It's about the release, what Lisa's intent of it was, what to look out for. It's written really neat. And underneath that, as well as the picture on top, you have our presenters and a little information about that. Turn to the next page. The next part is Les Mills education. Some of it is generic. These were generic, not Body Attack specific. There was the Science Behind Les Mills Grit series and We Are Social. Twice a quarter, you will receive education that is release specific. So for example, on Body Attack 71, 73, and 75, they highlighted each dimension. And you can get those online, or you can, if you can get the releases, that's great too. But those were specific to Body Attack, and sometimes there's generic education. This is your continuing ed for Les Mills. Something else you get every 3 months. Yeah. So watch the DVDs as well as reading this information. It's really cool. And it keeps you up to date. Next page, boom, we get right into our warm-up. Track 1. What dimension is it in? What dimension is it? Aerobics, right? So on the side, all the way on the left, you're going to see the counts as far as the seconds on the music. So you can go right to whatever block or whatever part you want to, depending on where the CD is at or where the music is at. So if you want to start in the second block, you go right to 1 minute and 27 seconds, and boom, you're right on the tab repeaters. All right. Underneath that, there's the anatomy of the song. So there's pre-chorus, and the chorus starts, which chorus is generally the highs of the song. And then the instrumentals, which are the low parts, or the bridges, or the low parts, and it goes back to the chorus. So if you're listening to the music, you can hear where the choruses are, the instrumentals are, the high points and low points, and it puts you right onto, okay, at 21 seconds, we're going to have a chorus, and then the next lyric is whoa, the bolded part, and you know that you have to do a step touch, is the move. So under the sequences and exercises, you have each move listed right for you. Let's take a look at this. So let's start at the first part. Step left, or L. Foot, what does B stand for? Back. And if you didn't know it, you go right back to the key. It's all in there for you. So, step left foot back. So that is instructor lead, my left foot back. My participants, now that you are all instructors, we're flipping you around. This is written for you. The DVD as well is for you. I don't know if anyone looked at the DVD and turned around when you were learning it, but you face it and teach to it, just like you're going to teach your class. That's the same way the choreography notes are written. Okay? Is that a surprise? No? Yeah? It's okay if it is. You have tonight to learn your track again if you were on the wrong foot. I made the same mistake when I first started too. I was stepping on whatever foot I wanted. All right, so it says left foot and open chest. Normally the italics is what tells you to do with your arms. So let's look at the counts. Start with the step touch. LR. What do those stand for? Left and right. And what do we do with our hands? HOH, hands on hips when we start. So if you go just to the left, you have 4 8 counts of the step touch. That means from point A to B, back to point A. The step touch is actually 2 full step touches. So this count, step touch left, right, step touch left, right, or left, right. That's 1. All right? You can count that whatever way you choose. This can be 2 for you, or this can be 1 whole thing. But in the choreography notes, that is 1. So we look at the counts, just to the right of that. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many times do we do it? 8 times. So that's 16 single step touches, 8 reps of 4 counts. Does that make sense? No.
I mean, I get it, but
Yeah.
I know what it's saying, but it doesn't.
Okay.
I think my mind thinks differently.
We're going to learn, everyone's mind does think differently. That's an excellent point. We're going to learn different ways to go over choreography. Some people listen to the music. Some people need to watch the DVD over and over and over and over and write down notes. Some people can just read this. I'm not one of those people. They can read this and just learn their choreography. Janelle's a kinesthetic learner. She needs to do it. I'm a visual learner. I see it and I can do it. Some people need to hear it. Some people, most people, need to use all of those things to learn their choreography. We're going to do a drill in a few minutes to go over that, but so the step touch, I'll just go over it again with you. The left and right is 1 whole move, and in the music you'll hear 1, 2, 3, 4 on the counts. That's 8 times through. Do you have a question about it specifically?
I've always thought of things in 8s, so when I
Yeah.
see 4 and then times 8, that's when my brain
Okay.
gets confused.
So it's still in 8 counts.
Yeah.
The music is still in 8 counts here. So if we look, I know it's a little confusing, if we look over to the left, the 4 times 8 that you see on the left side, just next to that big line, the left of the step touch, that's 4 8 total counts. So you have 4 counts for the move, and then it's 8 reps, but the music is still in 4 8 counts. I know that's confusing. When I play the music, we'll go over it.
Yeah.
Okay? And then it'll make sense because I'll have you guys clap and actually tell me what to do in a track 2. All right? So over to the right of that, you have your gears. This is going to be in every single track. And for the warm-up, what gear are we in the whole way? 1. All right? We'll go over the gears later. So let's look at the walk forward and back, since that's 8 8 counts. So it's going to be at 48 seconds, and you start on the beat, hear the music, and you walk forward and back with what foot first? Left. And what do you do with your arms? The RA stands for running arms. You just look back. You can look at that. So 1 whole rep is forward and back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 1. How many times do we do that whole thing? 8 times. So it's there, back, 6 more times. As for the lyrics, if you're someone that listens to the lyrics, the bolded parts, like whoa or 1, is when you start the move. So on the whoa, that's when we start the step touch. If there's a line and then you see non-bolded moves, or non-bolded lyrics rather, you're going to start just before that lyric comes on. So in the last block, I see a future, it starts immediately before. So you go to the knee repeater, and then I see a future starts, instead of being on the bolded whoa for the step touch. Underneath that, you have all your technique cues. On the other side of the notes, each dimension is bolded in colors. Aerobics is green. Sports training is is going to be blue, and strength training is going to be red. Underneath that, you have the track focus and your coaching stuff, which we will get into later. Track 2. If anyone has any questions about their specific track that they're presenting, carries track 1. Any questions about track 1? Okay. Track 2. What dimension is it in? Aerobic. Right. Gears, what gears are we in the whole way? 1 and 2. At the top, on the left side, or on the left page, right side, in that big red, I don't know what shape to call that. What?
I call it shabam!
Okay, that's what we're going to call it. You're going to see the new move, the front step mambo. We haven't had that in a track shoe before, so that's a new move. You'll see them throughout the release. That's a big flash, especially for your members when they've never seen this before. This isn't something I'm going to see in my manual. It's release specific. The front, yeah.
So, I've only done this 81, so I haven't done any others, but, so most of the steps are the same?
Yes.
Okay.
There's moves that you can expect to see in a release for a specific track, and added ones that are up for game in the future. So the front step mambo, you may see it again, you may not. If you see it again, it won't be highlighted this way, but it's a new move, and it's probably one that nobody's seen before, so it's a point to make in your coaching. We'll get into that when we talk about coaching.
So it's new to body tech period, it's not just new to that track.
Yes. Yeah. Does anyone have any questions about track 2, Stephanie? Okay. Track.
I was doing the
Yeah.
notes, not my
Yeah.
track, but in the notes, when you're reading it and you turn, because in the video, and when you all do it, you turn right and you turn left on the second time. But in the notes, to me, it looks like you're turning right both times.
Okay.
That's
So,
where I can get confused.
for the front step mambo the first time, you're on your right leg.
Right.
So the instructor right, the participants are on their left, and we turn towards that leg, right? And then the second time through, turning mambo with the running arms does say,
But it, you turn left.
you turn left.
It says, front step mambo L,
Turning mambo, rest
C1,
mambo.
yeah, L. So you're on the
Oh,
opposite.
it says above it, and here it says right. Is that not right?
That's not right.
That's not right.
Because here, what does it say here? It says front step mambo left.
You
So
turn left.
instead of hitting an L, they hit an R. So just X that out and just put an L because you're already doing it here.
Right.
So you can't change.
That's what I thought, but I just wanted to double check.
You're right.
Yep.
There are more discrepancies within the notes
Okay, so
that we picked up, but thanks for saying it.
So what's left? Left.
Everyone get that? So in the third block, in the white part, under the second round of turning mambo and run combo with wave arms, turning mambo R, you're going to make it an L.
But the first one's right.
First one is correct. Yep. You're on your left foot the whole time.